Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bad Movie Brothers. I'm Eric.
I'm Chad.
And this time we watched Cyberjack.
Cyberjack.
We got Cyberjacked.
Cyberjack.
This movie is also known as Virtual Assassin.
Wow, cool. Why'd they change?
Probably because somebody at some point was like, what the hell's a Cyberjack?
What's a virtual assassin?
I feel like I had, and granted, but I feel like I have a better handle on what a virtual assassin is than I do on a Cyberjack.
Yeah, but that's what happened in the movie. They got Cyberjack. Hey, man, this movie's like a mix of 4 other movies I've seen before. Like Demolition Man and Die Hard and The Net.
Mm-hmm.
Several things.
It's mostly Die Hard.
Yeah, mostly.
It's almost comical how much this movie is Die Hard. Here's the plot of Cyberjack, for those of you who somehow haven't seen Cyberjack. Michael Dudikoff stars as a disgraced policeman officer who is now a janitor at a high-rise type building where they are developing a supercomputer virus. But then the building gets invaded by, terrorists, I guess. And Michael Dudikoff is the only guy who can stop them.
But he's not really the only guy that can stop him.
Who else you got? Nobody.
Well, like they couldn't do anything. They couldn't do anything without the doctor lady actually putting in her name.
I mean, this is a fair point, because the terrorists pretty quickly take over the lab where they're developing the computer virus, which is one of those hilarious ideas of what they thought a computer virus lab would look like in the future. Like now we know it would just be like, at best, a bunch of cubicles or one of those like weird free-flowing, no wall office spaces or something like that. This is, a futuristic white clean room with dudes in lab coats doing God knows what. Anyway, they want this computer virus. They very quickly kill the guy who created the computer virus, which turned out to be a bad move. And so then they try and force his daughter to give them access to the virus, which, she should probably just tell them no, she won't do it.
Right.
So, you can break your father's codes.
Just let you walk out?
To be or not to be? That is the question. It's a simple equation, Doctor. If the virus dies, you all die.
But instead
And then it would be over.
Right, but instead she, goes and does one of those movie plot things where she elaborately plays for time so that Michael Dudikoff can kill the terrorists, thus putting the entire world apparently in danger of this computer virus.
Well, more damage was done when they were in charge of the computer virus than when the bad guy did it.
I mean, that's fair. Although the bad guys crashed that bus, right?
No.
The good guys crashed that bus?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it. The stupid sky bus.
Yeah, because the scientist guy was on the phone with the bus terminal people, and that's why the virus jumped into there when they was on the phone.
Fair enough.
Because it had a mind of its own, right. a random act.
Right. It's worth pointing out immediately that this is also one of those movies where they have no idea what a computer virus is.
Suppose it happens again. Suppose our virus gets out and decides not to come back next time.
Your father assures me it's locked up in an electromagnetic containment field.
It apparently travels through space.
Yeah. And
is some sort of green lightning bolt.
Right. It's basically a ghost.
Right.
Big made of ghost.
Foolish bad movie brothers, how dare they insult me, the world's most perfect computer virus. They must be punished. They must be cyberjacked.
It wants to control it.
Now, what year does this take place in?
I don't know, and I don't feel like they ever... I don't think they ever really say, but I also feel like it's. Oh wait, no, I have it written down. I know what year this is supposed to be. Do you want to take a guess?
2007.
Ooh, closer than I would have thought. 2012.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The highly futuristic world of 2012.
Yeah, except it's not highly futuristic.
No, it's mostly. This is where your description of it as Demolition Man really comes into play, because it's that sort of future where it's mostly, I don't know, reflective duct tape on things.
Yeah, there's spaceships flying around, and then there's regular 1990s cars and motorcycles still driving.
Right, and the guns are reused guns from Time Cop.
Yep.
It's about as futuristic as it gets. You got the really bad computer-generated sky bus, which reminded me, Chad, and this is...
Here we go, Jump Raven. Jump Raven, I knew it was
Yes! A reference...
I know.
A reference that truly... You and I are the only people who will ever get... I can't imagine anyone else played or remembers Jump Raven.
I don't even know what the purpose of that game was, other than flying around and having people come up on the video screen.
Right, because like...
And the music. Jump Raven.
Right, because I don't remember... Like, the little ship you were in, I guess the Jump Raven... had a pilot and then like a gunner. And I can't remember if you as the player were the pilot or the gunner, but then there was a computer game character was the other one. And they would say stupid stuff while you tried to, I think, shoot some things. And then I feel like you were trying to collect like these green goblin balls of, I don't know, DNA or some nonsense. This movie's got a real comical team of stock hackers that run around. Our leader Nassim, I think, is played by that guy. He's the first replicant at the beginning of Blade Runner, the one that takes the Voight-Kampff test, and then he's like the general who's in charge of Bruce Willis in Fifth Element.
I've been following your work on the internet. What a marvelous invention. The first biologically augmented computer virus. Brilliant, Dr. Royce. Truly brilliant. Of course, those 40 people on the skybus might have a slightly different opinion. Woo! Now that must have kept the coroner's office busy for quite a while.
He's like a weird white-haired guy, and at one point the doctor lady, Dr. Alex, has a pretty good slam on him.
Some weird guy. He's got horrible eyes and white hair. He looks like a lab rat on steroids.
Now, what inkling do we have from the beginning of the movie where he kills Judikov's partner that he's this sort of terrorist?
Right, none. Like first, like so the beginning of the movie is I guess it's not a flashback. It's just the past to when Dudikov's a cop and his partner gets shot by Nassim, and like they chase Nassim like he's on a motorcycle, and when they finally corner him and he takes off the helmet and that's the guy that's under it, I was pretty shocked.
Yeah,
that's not the face I expected to see. But he just seems like a run-of-the-mill criminal, not a super hacker.
Or a leader of men.
No, he does not seem, and women. He does not seem like a leader of men and women. But the men under his command include a guy with a really phony Jamaican accent.
This job getting too easy for me, man.
A Danny McBride character.
Wrong move, Sheriff.
Who's like a hotshot cowboy guy, and a crazy dude named Numb who cannot feel pain.
One day, and there I was, just sitting there, cutest little bundle of joy you ever did see. One incision right here. Right here. No more pain.
And there was another guy.
Well, there's another guy, and then there's just like a regular guy, and then there's Megan, a cool assassin lady who is wearing ludicrous breast armor.
Yes, very James Bondy.
Yes, except I felt very bad for this particular actor because that thing, which was definitely like taped onto her, could not have been comfortable. But anyway, mostly Nassim and Numb busy themselves with harassing Alex into giving them the computer virus, while the rest of the baddies try to fight Michael Dudikoff, who, kicks various people in faces.
He shoots them.
Mm-hmm. It's not exciting.
No.
Like Dudikoff, are you familiar with Michael Dudikoff?
I'm aware of it.
Like he's that guy that Cannon Films brought in when they were running out of Chuck Norris, Charles Bronson type movies. Like they were having trouble with those guys. And so they brought this guy in to be like their Jean-Claude Van Damme. And, nothing ever came of it. Like he's a real third-rate action star.
Yeah, he was good in this, though.
Was he?
I mean, he was fine, serviceable.
Much of the movie is him playing cat and mouse with these guys in increasingly ripped off from Die Hard sequences. We get him in the vents. We get a fight with a dude in an elevator. There's the big explosion on top of the skyscraper.
There's the shooting through the glass. There's a lot of glass.
There's even a scene where some cops show up with some donuts for the building security guard. And then when they find out that the security guard's a hologram, they get shot at in spectacular fashion in a very Reginald VelJohnson scene.
Outstanding. Travis, you just earned Employee of the Month.
That really does make it feel like the filmmakers had a videotape of Die Hard on the set, just to make sure they were hitting all of the important beats.
Well, yeah, when you're doing a ripoff, you got to get it close.
I mean, I suppose so. I was just surprised because there are a lot of Die Hard ripoffs. Like Speed is a Die Hard ripoff, but
yeah,
like it's basically its own movie. This is just slavishly ripping off. Like this movie is more of a Die Hard ripoff than Die Hard 2.
Right.
It is wild. I liked at one point, though, there's the point where the movie decides to rip off RoboCop, where the cops send in this, hovering robot thing to try and deal with the criminals. That's just completely ineffective.
What are you talking about? It bangs into the elevator pretty good. And he acts like that's hurting him.
Right. Well, and also at one point somebody shoots it, and then it loses all connection with the police. Apparently, you can disable this super police robot thing with a single shot. I mean, they took every action movie and threw it in a blender and said, "Here you go."
So, the main thrust of the movie is this computer virus.
Yeah.
That has some sort of biological connectivity to it.
Okay.
Where it has to find a biological host, right?
Is that true? I don't remember that, but I believe you.
Well, I think that's what it is, because eventually they corrupt some actual cops, just some dude cops with it, and it turns them into bad guys, like it's on an Avengers movie or something, and they got touched by one of the stones.
Right. Well, because Nassim has he's had, I don't know, a USB port or something put into his brain. So when he does get access to the virus, he just shoves it in his head, which makes his eyes green, and then he's able to. I mean, it's even worse than when the virus just like leaps into that plane. That now it's just leaping into dudes.
Yeah. And then they kill the rest of the cops.
Right. It is like the people who wrote this thought that a computer virus was like a virus.
Yes.
Yeah. I was going to say it's a very strange movie. I wish it was very strange. It's not particularly weird for the most part.
And there's like this weird continuing trope throughout the movie about this baseball team. And it's just so annoying that they keep talking about this baseball team.
Right.
And especially the outfield.
Just tell me one thing. How can a team go from first to last in one season?
It's called practice.
You want to know my theory? Lousy outfield.
What are you talking about? They have a great outfit.
You know what? Here's what I'd do. I'd switch Morrison to third. I'd let Hashigata lead off. I'd trade Red Mop for good bat boy, and I'd bring up a couple of left-handers from the farm team. I mean, statistically, batters in their division can't handle southpaws, right? I mean, it's so logical. I can't believe it. They haven't figured it out by now.
Right. Like their attempt to give Michael Dudikoff a character is to make him really into baseball.
Yeah.
Well, really into baseball and belly dancers, but they mostly confine the belly dancing to a single scene.
Yeah.
Holographic belly dancer.
That's right.
Yeah, there's a lot of holograms in this movie.
Yeah, because he uses it himself, and he's like running around everywhere as a hologram.
Right, like he makes a hologram of himself to confuse the regular hacker guy, which I thought was really funny because then at one point, just kind of spontaneously, he just then runs up to the guy and punches him in the face.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not particularly interesting. There is a scene I wanted to bring up where, so Dr. Alex during her attempts to waste time, gets them to let her go to the bathroom, which it's completely insane that they would let her go to the bathroom. But she goes to the ladies' room, and she's in the stall, and then right next to the toilet on the ground is a giant man-sized vent.
Doc, I'm here.
Nick? What are you doing here, Nick?
I'm on a package tour. What's it look like?
I couldn't help but think that HR is going to have one hell of a bunch of paperwork on their hands.
But first of all, you gotta realize she knew he was in the vent and immediately remembered, yes, there's that big old vent grate by the toilet that he could come to and talk to me.
Right. But also, he doesn't know that she's going to be there. He just, once he got in the vents, he's like, I'm making a beeline for that toilet vent.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm saying. His complaint file must be this thick. But, otherwise, I kind of don't know what to tell you about it. This is definitely one of the most violent movies we've ever covered. There are a lot of dudes that get shot, but almost no blood.
Yeah, not a lot of blood.
Which is weird because, there's nudity in this movie. It's already an R-rated movie. Let's get some blood in here.
I don't know.
I would have liked it more. I also like, so again, very Die Hard. When the terrorists show up, they are disguised as cleaners and they just walk into the lobby to talk to the security guard. And when they show up, they just have a rug doctor.
Yep.
They show up to clean this whole skyscraper with a single rug doctor, which I was amused by.
Yep. But they seem to know so much about the building, other than the fact that the carpeting is not on the floor they were trying to go to.
Right.
Where to?
4th floor.
That's funny. There aren't any carpets on the 4th floor. Sure you don't want the 3rd floor?
They do everything else except that.
Well, and they don't even need the rug doctor. Why wouldn't you just go in and be like, yep, we're the cleaners?
I don't know.
We're heading up to 14 or whatever.
Right.
Silly. This movie is silly.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't really have a whole lot else to say about it. I mean, it's a very this had to have been direct to video. It's very that. It's very direct to video. It's very, Cinemax or USA Up All Night in terms of here's a dumb action movie that doesn't really make a lot of sense. I wish it was weirder. I was mostly bored watching it.
Right.
Like there was
I agree.
Like we've mentioned all the crazy stuff, and when the crazy stuff show up, it's just crazy enough to make you go, "What's happening? What is this?"
Too much of him running around and us watching him run around.
Yeah, well, there's too much Dudikoff because he's not interesting. He's not an engaging, at least in this movie, he's not an engaging performance. So I'm not interested in watching him run around at all. And when he does kill a guy, it's not fun. Like there really aren't. You're right. There aren't really any like kicking dudes in the head or.
So this movie, its position in the top 51.
Yes, our 51st movie
is looking towards the bottom half.
I think so. I think this is a relatively low-ranking movie for me, anyway. Let's see here. Looking at the list. All right, I think I probably like Thunderground better than this movie. Our very first Bad Movie Brothers movie.
Wow.
50
Hello.
movies ago.
Tie it all together.
There you go. I probably like Boris and Natasha more than this movie.
Yes.
I don't know if I like BMX Bandits more than this movie. Probably about the same.
Yeah.
And then, hilariously, apparently we do not like cheap police movies, because here's, in a row, we have number 38, K-9000, number 39, The Force, number 40, Karate Cop, and number 41, Black Eagle.
So then it's just got to go right in the either the front or the back of that. I don't care.
It's somewhere in there. I guess I think I like this better than The Force, the Ghost Cop movie.
Yeah.
K-9000, it's like right there. It's like right there. I guess I like it better than K-9000.
So we shall have it.
All right, here we go. Added entries. Moving it on up. That is going to make it. Hold on. Thrilling television as I mess with this app. That is going to make it our 38. Our new 38.
Oh boy.
K-9000 gets knocked down a space.
Hey, 39,000.
Oh. Not for long.
No.
Yeah, and that's Cyberjack. I wish people had said Cyberjack more in this movie.
Cyberjack.
That's the thing too. Is everybody's playing this super straight. This could have used, I think, harkening back to our previous episode, this could have used like a Phil Collins. This could have used a really crazy performance somewhere in it. But
yeah, or some more, like cyber. There's not a whole lot of cyber in it. Not a whole lot of digital.
Yeah, I was expecting there to be more Lawnmower Man in this movie, and there's not really any Lawnmower Man in this movie.
Nothing.
That was the spice that was missing.
Yes, indeed.
From their movie ripoff Gumbo.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Good.
Cyberjack. All right, I got nothing else. You got anything else? Cyberjack. Well, hey, we'll get Cyberjacked again next time.
Go home, Jack.